This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace.
Hello, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Morning Mysteries, where we're your hosts. I'm Grace.
And I'm Alexis.
And we're back for our second episode of our new Inspector Gadget arc. We're, shaking off the cobwebs after taking all of January off. We're remembering how to record. We're having to redo all of our settings on all of our equipment and apps.
All of our things.
And it's coming together, though. We're getting it back. And today, Alexis will be telling us a Inspector Gadget tale, and I'm ready to see what this Dumbo does this week.
This blumbering detective, bubbling detective.
Bubbling, blumbering, all of these words and more.
Yeah. He does a lot of bumbling, and he meets a lot of other bumblers today, too.
God. Okay.
It's kind of appropriate. He's in good company in today's episode.
No one's safe.
So no one is safe. So yeah, we'll just dive right into it because there's a lot. We're gonna do a lot of Wikipedia tangents today, and we've got some lore to talk about. So we'll just kick it off by saying that today's episode is from season 1 of the original iteration of Inspector Gadget. It's episode 3, and it is called Gadget at the Circus.
Okay.
So, from the jump,
I'm worried.
We should
from the
all
jump,
be
I'm worried.
very concerned about what the hell he's about to get into. So Gadget in this episode, he's sent to investigate an alleged mad operation at the circus, which of course, if you guys listened to last week's episode and our Christmas episode where we talked about Inspector Gadget, which we know you did. If you haven't, listen to him after this episode.
Yeah.
But basically, MAD is this terrorist organization that Inspector Gadget is always trying to fight, right? And in this case, they're running an alleged operation at a local circus near Metro City. And Gadget thinks that this is going to be a quick, easy mission, that he'll be able to just go in, out, won't take too long. So he decides to, of course, bring Penny, his 10-year-old niece.
She loves the circus.
He does. And Brain, their little beagle mixed dog, along for the ride, because apparently Brain loves the circus too.
Great. So
upon their arrival at this circus, they run into Chief Quimby, who I think is hiding in a popcorn machine or something like that.
Okay.
And of course, he's like smoking his pipe out of the popcorn
just
machine.
spilling.
Very safe and good. Yes.
Good.
That's like the heat generation that is cooking the popcorn. And he pops out of there.
Pops out of that. Get out of here.
Out so that he...
Slay. Oh, no, come back.
But he tells Inspector Gadget and straight up Penny at this point, too, about what they suspect Mad to be up to inside of this circus. And he says that apparently all of these agents are inside of there. They're disguised as circus performers.
Okay.
Mad agents, that is, not police agents, but mad agents. And they've infiltrated this little entertainment operation, and they're using it as a freely moving base from which to loot and steal.
That's pretty smart.
And the mission, it is actually kind of smart, especially if you think like a traveling circus and all of that.
You're
just
in and out
from town to town, which put a pin in that. Our second pin of the year, perhaps.
Aww.
Hey, look at us.
Aww.
But yes, so Gadget's mission, per Chief Quimby, is to expose the mad agents that are inside of this circus and destroy Dr. Claw's cover. And so it's now up to Inspector Gadget, a.k.a. Penny, as we all know, and Brain, to infiltrate the circus and get to the root of Mad's evil plot.
Okay.
And of course, the way that Inspector Gadget has to do this is by himself going undercover as a circus performer.
Okay. Even though they own like the circus company, does he have to get hired?
Yep, exactly.
I was like, he's just showing up being like, I work here.
I work here. Look at me. You guys know me.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I'm not so sure that they actually own the circus company based on the way this episode goes down. I do think that only a few rogue agents have somehow infiltrated their way in.
Got it.
But as per usual, Dr. Claw is always like 5 steps ahead of Gadget and
Uh-huh.
Chief Quimby. And so even if he doesn't own this circus, he still has like surveillance
I
set
know.
up
Yeah.
everywhere around it. And he even has his own trailer where he's like watching all of this go down with like
So he's like the
screens and
investor,
monitors.
so they let him do whatever he wants,
Yes,
probably.
sure,
The
exactly. He's
producer,
perhaps
he
just
has his
like the
own trail.
president of the board or something of
Yeah.
directors. Yes. And so Dr. Claw sees this little secret meeting between Chief Quimby and Inspector Gadget. And I'm not sure if he can hear what they're saying on it, but he sees that they're meeting and he knows, like, all right, well, Gadget's here. He's going to try to fuck up whatever I'm trying to do at this circus.
Yep.
So he immediately tells his little lackeys on the inside of the circus to keep their eye out for Gadget and to eliminate him at all costs.
Okay.
So before we get into this failure of an investigation, as it always is, that's not even a spoiler if you're familiar with Inspector Gadget. Let's real quick just talk about the circus. That's something we've never talked about on this show, which is crazy because
That's
I feel like it has
wild.
so much to do with cartoons and with crime in so many different ways, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Wow. Tell me. I'm all ears.
I'll tell
I'm all
you
big
everything that I
elephant
had time
ears.
to look.
Like the elephants at
Or
the
big
circus.
clown ears.
Big
Yes.
clown. No, I don't want to be a clown. Only elephant.
I will tell you everything that I had time to research in Wikipedia and read like 2 or 3 separate articles about.
2 or 3. Okay.
Historian type work here. Yes, if you will.
Cartoon historian.
Yes. Pseudo circus historian for the sake of a
Beautiful.
cartoon today. So the circus has roots, according to Wikipedia, going all, and probably some other circus historians out there, real circus historians, one of which I will cite here in a moment, actually. Get on the phone with this guy. I'm sure he's got a lot of stuff to say. But anyways, the circus has roots going all the way back to ancient Roman times.
Okay.
Go figure, the Romans did it all, where they would exhibit horses and chariot races and have like equestrian shows and stage battles, gladiator combats, as we're mostly all familiar with, not from firsthand experience, but from movies and TV shows.
Don't speak for me.
And we are time travelers. How did I forget this?
God,
I
don't be
you didn't take
rude.
me with you that time. Why don't you take me?
You were sick.
You're right. Next time. And of course, displays of and fights with trained animals. All of these things were stuff that the ancient Romans were doing and, like Colosseums and stuff like that back then. Mm-hmm. And these circuses of Rome were similar or inspired by, as those who are familiar with Roman history, I guess maybe not inspired by, but stolen from, for those who are familiar with Roman history.
Yes.
They were similar, quote unquote, to the ancient Greek hippodromes, which basically were like the same things, but I think in slightly different sorts of venues in ancient
cool
Greece.
Last name.
The Hippodrome? Come on. It's like, I want to go to the Thunderdome and I want to go to the Hippodrome. Yeah. Although, could also sound dangerous. Like, I mean,
both.
But that's the point. Like, you only live once. I'm pretty sure that's what the Greek gods came up with, or the ancient Greeks came up with, or whatever. YOLO. Sure. So, some circus historians, plug here to my man George Spate out there, just researching and analyzing circus history.
Get it, George.
Have stated that these performances from ancient Rome may have taken place in great arenas that were called circuses by the Romans back then, but it would be a mistake to equate them or the places where they held these big exhibitions to the modern day circus. So maybe like kind of similar vibes, but like a totally different sort of entertainment, I guess, if you will.
Just like, here's entertainment in a round vicinity.
Yeah.
And we're going to call it all a circus.
Exactly. Whereas today, the modern circus obviously is more aligned with like a ringmaster who is the master of ceremonies. There's multiple rings set up like in a tent or in a big open arena. There's multiple performances that have interludes with clown performances to like set up for the trapeze artist or for the stunt artist or for the lion tamer. So this is the circus that we're all more familiar with today, the modern circus, which began in 1768 when a man by the name of Philip Astley, who was a skilled equestrian, began performing exhibitions of trick horse riding in an open field called Ha Penny Hatch.
Ha Penny Hatch? You go going down to Hot Penny Hatch this weekend to catch the show with the horse.
Did you see Philip Astley? I want to go see this guy ride a horse. And Grace, I gotta say, it was a choice for me to leave the name of that location in there. I deleted it out, like, yeah, that's not important. Then I was like, wait, Grace needs to hear this.
It's important to Grace.
Yes.
That's so important to me.
So I said, Control X, undo, put that right back in there.
Thank you for doing that. That's a gift. Thank you.
For you. And so this happened to be on the south side of the River Thames in England.
Oh, so my accent was completely wrong.
Hot Penny Hatch. Although to be fair, when I typed it out, when I realized that it was on the Thames, I was like, can I say this in a British accent? It's kind of hard because like it has an apostrophe. It's H-A'' Hatch. Oh. So Hot Penny Hatch. Like, I don't even know. Brits, how do you say that?
How do you say it?
I feel like you have to say it as like a Southern belle. Hot Penny Hatch.
Hot Penny Hatch.
You know?
Go see those horses at Hot Penny Hatch this Sunday after church.
I just can't wait to see what Philip Astley does.
Oh, Philip Astley.
Oh, wait, that's right. We're British.
Oh, shit.
So anyways, oh, shit. I knocked out my headphone.
Oh, no. Oh, God. We're bumbling.
Classic things. We're bumbling. We're just as bad as Inspector Gadget is. So anyways, 2 years after beginning these equestrian demonstrations and exhibitions, Astley in 1770 decided to also hire acrobats, tightrope walkers, jugglers, and even a clown to fill in the different pauses between all the other like horse and equestrian related demonstrations he was doing. And thus, he changed the format a little bit, and it became what we now know as the modern circus. And I think he then later started calling it himself a circus.
Interesting.
And so, obviously, over time, these circuses became a lot more and more popular and more famous, and a lot of various touring companies popped up around the world, like we know, like the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, which are now merged into one major circus. And while the initial goal of these exhibitions was probably to entertain and amuse, there was also obviously a big financial incentive because there was a lot of money to be made.
Talk about the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey.
Yeah. And I love that you just said that because my next sentence is, while it would be fun to go into the deeper history of these circuses and the shady business practices that some or many of them engaged in, we don't have time today. So I'll suffice it to say, there will be some things that I will talk about, but that's why we won't talk about the history of those things because there are other like horror stories and crime stories I want to talk about with the circus.
Amazing. I was going to say there are so many horror stories.
Way too many. There is a whole Wikipedia page on just horror, accidents at the circus. Yeah. Which I feel like is wildly undercounting a lot of the accidents.
It's
like not as long as I would think it would have been. It really,
Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey has one staff member who just goes on to Wikipedia and erases
and deletes, sends out
shit.
Cease and desist letters. See, and that's the other thing too. I'm like, ooh, some of these like circuses are still around, and we do not have pockets deep enough to defend ourselves from any sort of lawsuits.
Exactly.
So we're just going to skip over that, and instead, we'll suffice it to say that it's no surprise that in history, over the course of time since, 1768, when Lil Philip Astley went to Hot Penny Hatch and decided to start a circus, that some of them have been riddled with dangerous stunts, fraudulent schemes, or at least run by straight up scammers and fraudsters. Some, not all, just a few, far and few between, you know. But for example, only a few months ago, in November of 2024, a former official with a St. Louis, Missouri, Ohio, my God, America, United States, for anyone listening in a different country, a St. Louis-based nonprofit circus was indicted on and accused of embezzling over $120,000 in 3 different ways between December of 2022 and at least December of 2022 and at least September of 2023.
Did you say 125,000?
120,000.
Okay, that's not enough.
It's not enough. I know.
Like 3 years?
Yeah,
You guys did a bad
exactly. I
job
was
of even
like,
that.
really, bro? And I should have looked it up. I think his sentence was like up to 20 years. I mean, I did look it up. I should have typed it down.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, so he was charged for wire fraud. We'll talk about him. This guy,
classic.
George S. Pace, 61 of Ladue, I believe, Missouri. He was
Uh-huh.
indicted in the U.S. District Court in St. Louis on 6 felony counts of wire fraud. And each of those charges of wire fraud carried a potential penalty up to 20 years.
Oh
So
my
he could face
God.
a lot of time for just $120,000. And I think
Not
each
worth
count
it,
has like
man.
a $250,000 fine in place of prison. So it's like one or the other.
Sir,
Not worth it, bro.
not worth it.
And so the indictment said that Pace, this man, he was the president of the circus's board of directors at the time. And
Okay.
he also diverted to himself over $50,000 in circus checks that were supposed to go to pay down a line of credit at a bank, aka pay their
Oh,
bills, pay their debts. And they were supposed to be and he deposited thousands of dollars worth of checks that donors, because this is a nonprofit circus, so
oh,
he deposited donor checks into his own account and was saying like, oh yeah, it was for circus related expenses. When in reality,
oh.
I didn't read the whole indictment. I don't know what he was actually spending it on, but it was not, I don't think he was
Was
authorized
the
to do any
circus.
of that. And I don't think it
Yeah.
was circus expenses. And
Damn.
so the indictment also says that Pace fraudulently applied for an $18,200 U.S. Small Business Administration loan and
Okay.
and this was in August of 2022. And then later
Okay.
that same month, he fraudulently applied for a second loan of $11,200 through the
Sir.
Paycheck Protection Program,
Oh, come
which we're all
on.
familiar with.
Come
That was all of the
on.
COVID relief money. And then I looked back at the date like, oh, yeah, that's COVID. So basically, this is another one of those mini fraudsters. He probably had enough money elsewhere, but one of these
Yeah.
COVID fraudsters who was trying to just like use the government to pay his bills, but probably was like saying other people are too lazy for not wanting to pay their bills back. And then he's
Classic.
just like lying to get free money. Yeah.
From a
So
circus,
that's
no
just
less. Come on,
one
bro.
one random example from literally 3 months ago.
That it's still happening.
Yeah, but yes, far and few between, for the lawyers
Allegedly.
listening. Yes, allegedly. And so, in addition to that example of fraud and embezzlement, there are also many horror stories about circus disasters throughout history that I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah.
many of us are familiar with, like the Cleveland Circus Fire of 1942,
Oh,
the
scary.
Hartford, Connecticut Circus Fire of
A lot of
1944, where I think
fires.
like 167 people died in that one. I forget how
Whoa.
many died in Cleveland, but a
Classic
lot.
Cleveland.
The St. Louis trapeze accident of 1872. That's
Oh,
another St. Louis circus
get
incident.
out of there.
And then also one that I really want to talk about, sadly, because it kind of has to do with today's episode,
Oh, God.
is the
Okay.
tragic death of Thomas McCart, a one-armed lion tamer who performed as Maserati, the lion tamer.
How did he lose that first arm?
That's a good question.
How
I
did he
would
lose that
love
first
to know.
arm? You guys hired him
He
after?
had to practice.
Did
He
you
had to
not?
practice lion
Yeah.
taming somehow
Yeah, how
before
good
he
of a
took
lion
the
tamer
big
was he if he
ring.
already lost one arm?
Yeah. He also had like only 4 toes or something. Or I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
I made
getting to
that
see
part
his
up.
medical notes about how these accidents happened because
Yeah, I
I'm not
don't think they kept
hiring
them,
someone whose
unfortunately,
lion
in
has
the
already eaten some
1800s.
of them.
Yeah. So this guy, sadly, he was attacked and killed during a circus performance in Lancashire in the United Kingdom on
Uh-huh.
January 3rd, 1872.
Okay. By a lion?
Yikes.
By his
By a
lion?
lion.
Okay.
So McCart was due to perform before a crowd of about 500 people for Mander's Menagerie, a circus
Oh.
being held in the marketplace at Bolton in Lancashire. After giving his usual talk to the audience, warming them up, telling them about big cats and all the safety and everything,
Mhm.
McCart stepped into the cage and was literally immediately attacked by the lions, which he
Lions.
attempted to
There's more
fight
than
off.
one?
Plural, at least according to the Wikipedia page. And there's more that I'll read later. So yeah, there was more than one, which he
Okay.
attempted to fight off, of course, with his sword and a pistol that was loaded with blanks, probably just to scare them.
Oh,
But
okay.
it did not scare them in this case. They overcame him quite quickly. And there was a reporter present from the Manchester Evening News who went on
Uh-huh.
to describe this attack in the news, I guess like the next day or shortly after the event
Uh-huh.
happened. And again, I'm pulling this whole excerpt straight from the Wikipedia page here,
Uh-huh.
where this guy basically said, it was a very shocking affair that took place last night in Bolton. Part of the performance consists of a quote unquote lion hunt, during the course of which 5 large lions are put through a variety of movements by a man dressed in a French uniform, whose name is given in the bill as Maserati, but whose real name is Thomas McCart. Last night, about 10:30, the representation in connection with the farewell visit of the establishment was given, and during its progression, McCart slipped and fell to the floor while engaged in a large cage with the 5 full-grown lions.
So he was
one
bumbling.
of the largest. So he was bumbling, quite like something else we'll see later in today's
to
episode.
Our show. Okay, great.
Yes.
Go on.
One of the largest of the animals, a black Barbary lion, immediately sprang upon him with a terrific roar and was quickly followed by its companions. So peer pressure, I guess. A horrible scene ensued.
Ugh.
Within the den, a frightful tragedy was enacted. The cries of the unhappy man struggling in the fangs of the savage brutes being scarcely heard amid their roaring. Outside the cage, a scene scarcely less appalling was witnessed. In the large assemblage of visitors, stalwart men shrieked, women tore their hair and fainted, and many were unable to seek their homes until a considerable time had elapsed. So people were probably just like wandering like 1,000 yards, staring, walking through this town after what they saw.
Whoa.
McCart was rescued from the lions as quickly as possible. But ere this could be done, he was frightful torn by their teeth and claws, his legs, head, and hands being lacerated to such a degree that the flesh was completely torn away from the bones.
Yeah, I tear my hair out too.
And that's the end of that quote from the article. And now at that time, it was common in circuses to have heated irons ready near, which again, like a whole other question of ethics and animal cruelty
we know
aside.
Animals in the circus is always bad.
I feel like we have touched on that somehow on this podcast in the past. So we have stated that in our statements on our opinions on all of that. But for the times, whatever, they used to have heated irons ready near any of these like animal performances so that they could drive back lions or any other big cats or big animals in case something like this happened.
Yeah.
But on this occasion, at this particular circus and performance, it had been overlooked, the whole heated iron thing, because this was supposed to be an extra performance that wasn't on the daily schedule. And so by the time they were heated, it was a little too late. They probably like saw the lions attack and they're like, oh shit, get the irons ready. We didn't do that.
We gotta act like we were on top of this.
Exactly. Other members of the show eventually were able to force the animals back into the cage. I'm sure that they were injured in the process too, but it doesn't mention if they were, but I cannot imagine that they weren't. And they eventually were able to the other performers were able to drag McCart out of the cage with them. But eventually rescued after about 15 minutes, apparently. It's at a quarter of an hour of being mauled by these lions. McCart just kind of like gasped out, I am done for. He knew he was dying. Yeah. And he in fact did die for that on the way to the hospital. Yeah. So
real quick. In these scenarios, well, one, obviously sad for many reasons because a human died. Also very sad because they probably killed the lions. But also never hear these stories. I'm like, good for you. Good for you, lions.
Yeah, again, someone died, and that is sad.
That's very sad.
This was very long ago, too, though.
Yeah,
but it is sad. But, social Darwinism, I guess, right? Like, in a way. It's not something that humans should have ever been doing. And look, there have been a lot of successful cases of people taming lions. Like they did it at circuses forever. I don't know if they still do it. I know circuses have in modern days, like more modern than obviously even the early 1900s, have like cut a lot of animal stuff out of their performances, which is great because people like us here at Saturday Morning Mysteries we're saying that was not a good thing to do. good for you, I
I
guess.
know, like, I'm
But
sorry. And also
you
sad because then
never
it like
want to
definitely
see someone
led
die.
to those lions
Yeah.
also dying for sure, I'm
And
sure.
also,
But
like, sad for the people who had to witness that
yeah,
horrifying
the
experience, but
trauma.
like, all the more reason to criticize circuses because it's
Yeah.
very reasonable to think that something like this could happen
Yes.
if you're
Or any of
bringing
those other
five
accidents you named.
angry lions. One, that's the thing. And again, we're not going to go into the history of all this, like the shadiness of circuses, but like
Yeah.
they know what sells and they know this
Yes.
actually ties back to an episode of the Wild Thornberries that we did where they were doing the cage fighting with the
Oh,
animals.
yeah.
It's
Right. Because
like, you
it's
know
what
what
sells
sells.
danger.
You want them to be angry and like you have to like starve them so they feel like
Yeah.
they have to eat and they have to attack and like you want to poke at them so they're angry and like more
Yeah.
violent. So like I kind of think some circuses, maybe allegedly, also did those same things to the animals for like some of these performances so that it
Yeah.
would be like more exciting, more of a
Yes. More
spectacle. So like
dangerous.
it's just cruelty and bad ethics compounding
Yeah.
into, unfortunately, a
A
lot of people
snack.
losing their lives and a
Yep.
snack. Yep. A meal. Hopefully that lasts the lions for a while. Anyways, so
Anyways.
there's a little spiel about circus
Wow. And how does
horrors,
this
if you
have to
will,
do
and
with
crimes.
Inspector Gadget? I'm more worried than the start of
Yeah.
the episode.
Well, like you said, that guy Thomas McCart,
Bumbling.
bumbled into the cage, and we're
And it
gonna see
slipped.
Gadget bumble on into this
Oh, God.
circus as
Okay.
well.
Great.
So Gadget, he's got a lot of ideas on how to fulfill this mission, on how to take down Dr. Claw and Mad and infiltrate the circuit and get to the bottom of who are the fake performers inside actually working for Mad.
Okay.
And his first idea is to dress up as, according to my research, what is the most popular, one of at least, most popular and common performances at the circus, a clown. So he starts off kind of easy. But of course,
basic.
We don't love clowns too much here at Saturday Morning Mysteries, so we hate it already. But he waltzes his way out to the circus's center ring, where he gets to have an up-close look at the ringmaster and some of the other circus performers and start to like scrutinize them, start to investigate, try to shake them down a little bit. And he's talking to the ringmaster, and the ringmaster is thanking him for being able to join their performance on such short notice because the clown who Gadget is replacing in today's performance actually just happened to catch a cold. So he's really doing the ringmaster a huge solid by being able to fill in on such short notice.
Great.
And Penny kind of overhears this conversation and she feels that the vibes are off because we know Penny, she just has like deductive reasoning, like Sherlock Holmes level times 10. Like she just knows when something's not right. And so she tells Brain to follow and look after Gadget while he is taking the stage, and that she's going to go and watch the whole performance from the stands, try to get a better like bird's eye view of the whole circus to like see what's going on here.
Yeah.
And so once Gadget does take the stage or like the center ring, the ringmaster kind of sneaks back behind the curtain and he pulls to the side another clown who's working there, I guess. And he tells this clown to keep an eye on Gadget because Dr. Claw wants him eliminated.
Okay, there it is.
And the clown is like, gotcha. He assures the ringmaster that no need to worry, he'll get the job done.
Great.
And I would just like to note also that this clown, I'm so confused by what he is. To me, I'm just going to say, because the ringmaster is a human. All of the other agents, mad agents we see throughout this show are humans. For some reason, this clown looks like Darwin, again, from the Wild Thornberries. He looks like a primate of some sort. But like he's got clown makeup on, so he's got like gray skin and like clown makeup on, but it's also like his shape. Like he looks like either Darwin or Roger from American Dad, just like the very like pear-shaped body and short.
Wait, this is so funny because in my next episode there's also like everyone's normal but one person.
Okay, I wonder if maybe it's him.
It's not the same shape though, but like there's just always one.
It's so weird.
Choice that has happened. I don't know how to describe it.
Because for a second, it made me forget that, like, Brain is supposed to be the only like
Dog.
anthropomorphic
Yeah.
animal, you
And you're like,
know?
here's another one, a monkey.
So I was like, wait, is there like a monkey that works for Matt too? This is so strange. So it just took me a while, I guess. I thought that he was like really part of the circus, but then I'm not giving it. I mean, I guess I'm giving it away, but it's because we know, like from the jump, that these two, the ringmaster and this clown,
right,
are mad agents. So I was like, wait, that's not actually a monkey,
right? Like it would have made sense
talking
if it was a trained monkey, but yeah, the talking doesn't make sense.
But he's literally speaking. So
wait, that's so.
I just had to point that out.
Both
I was like, I know Grace will get a kick out of this, like some hybrid between Roger and Darwin. I don't know. He's got Roger's sass, but also Darwin's kind of like
shape.
I don't know. Face.
Oh,
anyways.
Oh man. So you're just saying that there's a ringmaster and a really ugly clown?
Yeah. So reasonable that like Chief Quimby knew something weird is going on here. He like went to that circus and said like,
be a clown and cover that up.
Yeah, but this is the best way that we can make you hide in plain sight. Just paint your face.
Yeah.
By making you as like obvious as possible.
Yeah, but you're a clown, so it's okay.
It's fine. Yeah, it's okay if you look very strange. So anyways, yes, thankfully Brain he listens to Penny's message about following Inspector Gadget. And he is able to do his job as he usually does. He's a good dog, and he protects Gadget as he's bumbling his way through this first performance as a clown that obviously the ringmaster and the other clown, who are secretly mad agents, are constantly trying to sabotage. And so there's all these like booby traps and like things trying to land on him as he's juggling and as he's doing other clown shit. That Brain very bravely steps in the way of, or, pushes Gadget to the side for and saves him. Mm-hmm. And of course, Dr. Claw is watching all of this happen from his little secret trailer, his little, surveillance setup. And he's very angry that the clown and the ringmaster aren't able to eliminate Inspector Gadget. Mm-hmm. So Dr. Claw, at this point, swears that he's only going to give his lackeys one more chance to get Gadget out of here.
Okay.
And Penny, back in the tent, she's still feeling super sus about the ringmaster. Like, she sees all this crazy stuff happening to Gadget as a clown and Brain, like, stepping in and saving him. And she's like, okay, well, I should probably do some investigating because the ringmaster would be trying to stop this, if he wasn't guilty. So she snoops around the circus grounds and starts, like, looking around some of the trailers out back for some clues. And she comes across the ringmaster's trailer and tries to like break in there, but she's caught by him and plays it off as just being, I'm just a cute little 10-year-old girl. Circus. I don't know where I am. I'm looking for my uncle. He's a clown.
Has like a laser gun in her back pocket.
Like high-tech watch with a satellite coming out of it. I'm lost. What do I do? But somehow the ringmaster falls for this and is like, well, if you're looking for the clown trailer, it's over there. Get out of here, little girl. So she runs off and she makes her way over to the clown trailer where, of course, her Uncle Gadget and Brain are preparing for their next performance, which in this case is lion taming.
Okay, is he still as a clown or has he switched to?
So now, I forget if he switches. So he might be back in his regular clothes for a second, but he does switch into a long
when he goes back
like
on stage.
ringmaster jacket, for when he's back on stage.
Okay.
But I will say he still keeps his hat on. So when he was a clown, I think he actually took his hat off and put a diffdifferent hat on. But now he like has his hat on and doesn't have any face paint on. So it's like obviously Inspector Gadget just in like a long pink coat now. Yes. So he's not really doing a good job of hiding.
Pink undercover,
Yeah. So Penny is very concerned when Gadget tells her that he's getting ready to do a lion taming performance. Yes. She's like,
she knew about the history of
Thomas McCart.
Yeah.
She knew.
She's smart. Like, she knew.
Yeah, I guess on the bright side, like a lion can't really eat metal arms, maybe. So like,
probably rip them off.
Yeah, exactly. Like it still can't end well. There's no good ending for this. So Gadget, though, he assures her it's all good. It's part of the plan. He's like, listen, if I can get into the ring and go just a few rounds with this lion, then every circus performer here is going to respect me and they'll
Okay.
trust me enough to tell me anything, like if there's
It's like
something suspicious
hazing.
going on.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so Penny still is not buying this, and Gadget sees it because, again, it's a giant lion, and
Yeah.
Gadget is Gadget.
Gadget.
But Gadget tells Penny that he and the lion, who is very adorably named Brutus, are actually
Oh.
super cool. And they actually are, which is kind of cool and
Oh,
adorable.
like their
Like you
buds.
see, they're buds actually. You see Inspector Gadget
Oh.
petting him, and Brutus is just kind of like bashfully looking at him. He's
Oh.
actually a very calm and tame lion, which is
Okay.
adorable. And he actually very sadly seems just like he's malnourished and like
He's
depressed
just
because he's
exhausted. That's
in
why he's not
a
biting.
wagon. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like he's in a caged wagon and he's just
Yeah.
like, I want to get out of here. I will be very nice to whatever person lets me out of here.
Yes.
And so Penny, she looks at the lion at Brutus and she kind of agrees, like, okay, if you say so, Uncle Gadget, like, I think I trust you. But
Mhm.
also, Brain, stay here and protect Uncle Gadget in case
Yes.
anything happens.
Brain, get ready to fight a lion.
Get ready,
Hope
Brain.
you're ready.
It's happening. It's happening. Gadget then tells Brutus after Penny walks away. He like whispers over to Brutus, like, all right, buddy, put on a good show, and I'll see what I can do about getting you out of the cage for good behavior.
Aw.
Which again,
Behavior.
yikes. Yeah, yikes again for the whole animal cruelty aspect of the circus, anyways.
Yeah.
So when the performance finally starts, Gadget, he takes the stage and he's announced by the ringmaster as Gizmo the Lion Tamer. Which
Okay.
Gizmo, Gadget, like
Yeah,
kind of the same. Like they
try
clearly know
harder.
who he is.
Yes. Yeah, that's why the ringmaster gave him that name. He was like, "What's your nickname, Gadget?"
Gadget,
Gizmo.
Gizmo, the Lion Tamer. Yeah,
Yeah, we
they
definitely
don't know
don't know who you are
you.
from the jump.
Yeah.
You're doing a
And
great
at this point,
job
you're doing great.
being
Go in there and just have
undercover.
that lion attack you. It's perfect. Perfect. So Brutus jumps out of the wagon after this massive wagon is like wheeled out to the ring. He
Mhm.
jumps out, this lion. And he seems to be really into the part at first. Like 180 from the lion that we just saw a second
Oh,
ago,
okay.
right? Maybe the promise of freedom is enough for him to really, lean into this role.
Yeah.
But he actually starts to get a little violent with Gadget, and he's not holding back his attacks or viciousness whatsoever, to the point where he even tries to chew off Gadget's head.
Oh,
And so
okay. Method
Penny,
acting.
he's really into it. He wants that award, which again is
Okay.
liberty for all lions.
Freedom.
So Penny
Okay.
again is feeling like something's
It's
not
been
right
worse.
here. She's like,
Yeah.
this is a lot worse. Uncle Gadget assured me his safety. I knew I should not have believed him.
I always mistakenly trust him, and you know what? Shame on me.
Exactly. She's blaming herself. Like, why did I come up to the bleachers? I should have stayed down there
Why
with
did
my
I
crossbow.
know?
Yeah, with
Yeah.
my trank gun.
Yeah. You know what? This one's on me. I should have stopped him.
This is totally my fault. I'll take the blame for this. So yeah, she starts to like look around the circus. She leaves her seat and she's like, okay, I got to find something here. And she sees that the real Brutus, that's right, the real one, is still in his cage behind the
The
curtains,
little like
waiting.
malnourished, like
Yeah,
hoping
the
for freedom
like
one.
sad, exactly, the real
Oh,
Brutus. Yeah, he's back there waiting for his
okay.
big show and the promise of freedom. He's like, I warmed up for this. Why am I not on stage yet? And so Penny's like, okay, that's not Brutus. They switched him out somehow. Either, Dr. Claw had surveillance
Brutus
in there. A2 Brutus.
is what that lion's saying
A2.
about the other lion.
Speaking of the Romans, right? Oh, gosh. Actually, that's probably why they named him that. Because, yeah, it's such a weird name. Anyways, so Penny calls Brain and tells him that that's not the real Brutus and that he needs to go in there into the ring and protect Uncle Gadget from the lion. It's happening, Brain. But it's so adorable because Brain is already ready. Like by the time Penny like looks down into her watch to call him, he just taps on her shoulder and she turns around and he's already in a lion costume. He's ready.
He's a lion.
dressed up and he's just like smiling at her, like, tag me in, coach. Like, I'm ready.
It's happening.
It's happening.
I'm making it happen.
Yes. I am the lion. So yeah, Brain, he's eager. He's ready. He runs into the ring and he bites the tail of this angry lion and it scares it off. And this gives Gadget a chance to exit the ring safely.
Okay.
Dr. Claw, again, surveilling this entire situation. He sees all of this and he's pissed that the ringmaster has again failed to eliminate Gadget, as he calls it. And the ringmaster is like, okay, dude, I promise you, give me one last chance. We're so close to getting Gadget out of here. Please, one last chance. So Dr. Claw accepts, but he says that if I'm going to give you one more chance, you got to do it on my terms. So the way that you're going to do it now is you're going to put Gadget on the trapeze. That's his next performance.
This bumbling buffoon on a trapeze?
Can you imagine? Could you imagine? Which, like, also, though, Dr. Claw knows Gadget's abilities. Like, he knows he's a cyborg.
Right. He has those, like, lengthening arms and legs. Oh,
exactly. Yeah. The neck, he has, like, propellers.
That's such a good point. He falls off of cliffs all the time. Yeah.
So at this point, I'm also like, how smart is Dr. Claw? Because again, I feel like the only way you can destroy Gadget, like you can drop him from a high location or something. Like I think you just got to smash him. Like I don't think you can, because he's always going to be able to extend his legs or his arms to just get out of whatever. Yeah, like any other robot, you just got to like smash it entirely and just destroy it. You know, that's all I got.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe Dr. it's one Claw, of those. Maybe it's one of those things with Dr. Claw, and, you know, maybe this is our first piece of wild speculation for our characters here in the series, is maybe, like, you know, when someone doesn't feel like, I define myself by the role that I can play for someone else, and if that person's not there, who am I? Type of thing, like someone who's like a giver. If they don't have anyone to give to, who are they? If he doesn't have an arch rival, who is Dr. Claw?
Who is he? Yeah,
he can't face himself. Yeah, he needs Gadget. He needs to be the
someone
foe.
Indestructible like himself.
Yes, he needs to be the foe of Gadget, because if not, whomst is he? Who
is he?
He has to look at himself in the mirror for the first time in maybe Dr. Claw's entire life. So just a thought. That's why he doesn't ever fully kill him. That's why he's sending other people to do it, because he's like, well, I'm not the one who accidentally kills him, because I could never. And then he does dumb schemes like this to keep up face with the squad, but is like, at night, it's like he's got a little Helga vein in him of, he has like the secret locket, but it says my enemy instead of a heart. Yeah. It has like an X through it, and it's Gadget.
So basically what you're saying is a Batman and the Joker type of situation.
Yes. But way dumber.
Yeah, but way dumber. Way dumber. They may be equally as in love with each other, though.
Yes. But, like, Gadget doesn't even realize that, because he's, like, never actually realized who Dr. Claw is. He's, like, never seen it.
Yeah, he thinks he knows and actually has no clue. Yeah. Interesting. I like that, and I think it fits. Because, again, Dr. Claw has to know.
Continue to
We'll fine-tune this over the next
but I do think
6 more weeks. Yeah.
Defines himself in some way by Gadget's presence, and to thus,
absolutely
fully.
Well,
or he's a double agent also working for who knows what. A quadruple agent kind of thing. We don't know. We'll get into it.
But I mean, and that's a good point too, because I don't think in either of our episodes for this arc yet this has happened, but at least in the Christmas episode I did, like part of Dr. Claw's plan to take over the North Pole was to bring Inspector Gadget there, so that, because he knew, like, okay, if I do this, Inspector Gadget is going to come here to investigate, and then I can kill or eliminate Inspector Gadget. So it's almost like that is the goal of all of his evil schemes. It's to bring Inspector Gadget to him. Does Dr. Claw think they're dating? Is this like a weird way that villains and like terrorists think dating works? Yeah.
I guess I'll have to get him here somehow.
I tried to bring him to a tour of the North Pole, and he tried to kill me. I tried to bring him to the circus. I thought it would be so fun for us to have a day at the circus together. And now he's just trying to kill all of my lackeys.
Right. They were just putting on a show for us.
Why is the message not getting to him?
Right. What part of my signal is he not understanding?
Yeah.
I've read all of the books. I've asked all of my girlfriends, the girly pops, and no one understands why he's not getting my message.
We had
Is
a
it
whole wine night the other day. We made charcuterie boards,
we
and
had a
they told me
charcuterie board,
that
a charcuterie
they
board, if
promised
you
me that he
will.
would a charcuterie board. Oh my God.
And
They
like,
promised me that he would get the circus
yeah,
thing.
that was a
Like,
great idea. They hyped me up. And like, is it just
yeah,
two mixed signals with the lion switch over? I thought he liked
yeah.
adrenaline.
She's like, I even tried to take him to Scotland last week. He even tried to take him for a
God,
romantic picnic on the loch, and he didn't even like that.
Becky said my desperation showing, but I think she's wrong.
But I killed Becky for saying that.
And now Becky's
In his
dead.
evil Dr. Claw voice. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's
And
back
now
into
Becky's
it.
dead.
And now she's been eliminated.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I think
So,
that, or in, sorry, just one last thing, in the total opposite theory, wild speculation about him,
yeah.
is that how we talked about last episode that like wherever Gadget and Quimby, whoever they work for, like, yeah, they made Gadget too indestructible. And so, like, they can't figure out a way to kill him. So they've actually hired Dr. Claw works for them
Yeah, exactly.
completely. He's just like, yeah, it looks like he's a different quote unquote terrorist agent. And so he's just like a mole within a mole, basically being like, we're funneling so much money through an offshore bank account to Dr. Claw to figure out a way to fucking kill the Gadget. But Dr. Claw knows that if he kills him, where's his money going to come from? How's he going to get paid? He's got to keep milking it for as long as he can.
Hired him.
In this economy? You think you're going to kill?
Please.
You think you're
You know
going to
how much
bite
eggs
them
cost?
You know how much goons cost? Today?
Expensive.
It's so expensive. So
he already cut corners on their health insurance, so he knows that you got to keep it easy.
He's got to keep it running through, you know? Becky drinks so much wine at wine night.
But it's also fun. You know how much wine costs for these wine moms, these soccer moms? How much oil changes in these minivans cost? All right. But it's also funny, like, if that is true, which I do like that idea, poor Penny and Brain are just collateral damage at this point. Like,
yeah.
That's
Quimby
how dangerous.
Doesn't give
that's
a
how
shit.
dangerous Inspector Gadget is, that they're like, listen, if you have to take her and Brain out too, then like, sorry, we'll send flowers to her real family. But like,
right. They're just so desperate to get rid of Gadget that they're willing to like kill this child and the dog, or at least this child. And they're like, look, if Gadget got any sort of intelligence, we're all fucked. That's why like all of these attempts are so desperate, because they're like, if he learns how to read, what do you think we're going to do?
We're done.
He's going to be too powerful.
We're done.
Yeah. And Dr. Claw's like, yeah, I'll definitely take care of it. Did you do the deposit for the last mission yet?
By the way,
I haven't seen it in the deposit, my bank account yet. Could you get that on that?
Yeah.
So anyways, just things to think about.
Yeah. You know, as we continue on this journey of Inspector Gadget. So yeah, so anyways, back at the Metro City Circus, the ringmaster now informs Gadget that, you know, hey, one of the trapeze artists from the Flying Zucchinis, the Trapeze Act, he's unfortunately come down with a cold. I guess it's cold season. It's going around here.
Spreading.
And they need Gadget to be his stand-in.
Okay.
At which point, I'm like, dude, I don't think are there stand-in trapeze artists? Does it work? I mean, I'm sure there are, I guess, if they're like part of the troupe, but that's not...
Yeah, but a rando?
At this point, Gadget should have many red flags flying up out of his little fedora there, because like, you don't usually just pull someone off the street asking if they can stand in for a trapeze artist. Yeah. But you know, Gadget,
I saw you audition as a clown, but could you also tame a lion and then get on the trapeze? Yes.
Get on this trapeze that is like 100 feet in the air, probably.
I hope you didn't lie on your resume you gave us, because we're going to ask you to do these things. It's on your resume. You didn't lie, right?
You didn't lie. We're not going to fact check or background check if you did. So good thing you didn't.
Get up there.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Now, here's your 5 cents for the day, by the way. And your free piece of bread.
I was saying some peanuts from the floor that people dropped.
From the elephant trailer.
The extra.
So again, Penny is feeling the bad vibes all around. She knows that this ringmaster is somehow behind all of these dangerous stunts that Gadget's being forced to go through. And so she again tells Brain to follow and protect Gadget while she investigates some more. And for at this point, I will also say Gadget has given up entirely on trying to be in costume. Like I said, when he was a clown, he had on all the makeup and a crazy clown outfit. When he was taming the lion, he had on that long, elaborate, like ringmaster's coat. But now he's just fully in his regular clothes. Like he's got his gray trench coat, his hat, and the ringmaster is looking him in the eyes. Like there's no makeup on, no disguise, no mask, nothing. Like it's clearly Inspector Gadget.
He's like, I haven't found any clues that anyone's a mad agent, so I might as well be myself.
Exactly. Like it's looking like this investigation's a bust. So I think I can take off this costume now.
I'll spend my day here. I'll finish out the day, you know? They already have some sick people.
I think he is genuinely forgetting that he's on investigation. I think he is. He's like, wow, like sorry that all these workers are getting sick. Happy that I'm here to help. Like,
yeah, thank God I'm here today.
Like at least in previous episodes, he claims to be like looking around for things when he stumbles into other areas. Here he's just like no full method. Like he is a carny, or like he is a circus performer at this point.
Dream.
Like he's getting ready to pack up his little bag and tie it to a stick and hop onto a caboose and
hit the next boxcar,
the next boxcar, and follow the circus to its next location.
Where that circus will take him.
He forgot about Penny. Yeah.
He's going for the big top now. He won't know any other life.
He's going up until he meets P.T. Barnum himself, man. He's like, this is my industry
all
now.
The way to the domed top, baby.
But thankfully, one of our detectives here is still good at her job. Penny, of course. And she's still successfully on the case, snooping around the circus grounds, looking for any indication that the ringmaster is behind all of this and that Dr. Claw is somewhere here pulling all these strings. And so she comes across a man while she's snooping around. I'll say it this way first. She's walking and she hears like some odd, pained and struggling moaning coming from somewhere, from a man. And so she, unwisely for a 10-year-old little girl who has no adult supervision right now, makes her way closer to the concerning moaning
crime
noises.
Is about to happen.
Absolutely. Many, perhaps. And so she sees behind some bushes a grown man. Where is this going to go? Which direction are we going?
I'm so worried.
You guys on the edge of your seat.
What crime is about to occur?
A man is tied up and gagged. Still don't know exactly where we're going.
My concern is still here.
And he's badly beaten.
Okay.
And she pulls him up and realizes that this is Mr. Zucchini of the Flying Zucchini.
Not sick at all. Also,
not sick at all. Yeah.
The way you said that for people who are watching on YouTube. The way you went, she like pulls him up. Like you did that a little. Maybe
did I?
Pulling him up by his collar, like, who are you?
Dude, Penny could. She like is low key a badass. Not even low key. Like she fights people. She could. Who are you? Like in her Batman voice. Who are you? What are you doing back here? Yeah. Who tied you up? When the man is clearly the victim. She's like breaking his
But
neck.
he doesn't give a fuck. She's on a hunch and she will hunt it down.
She will follow that hunch, man. Even if it breaks some necks in the process. What have you done with my uncle?
Anyway, sorry.
So she recognizes that she pulls him up, helps him get untied very nicely and friendly.
Oh, yes, sorry.
And is like, oh my God, what's wrong? Like, what happened to you? And he just says, like, I just remember everything going black. And the next thing I knew, I was tied up here. And so at this point, yes, like you alluded before, Penny realizes the ringmaster lied to them. This guy isn't sick. He was literally assaulted and like kidnapped or like tortured.
This was the crime. This was the crime we witnessed. Was this man.
Finally, we got something.
Now,
So,
sorry, does Penny untie him
yeah, go
or
ahead.
does she just say thanks and
Actually,
leave? She just
oh,
pushes him back in the bushes.
she
She got the
might
info
as
she
well
needed.
have. I want to say she does. She definitely ungags him at least because he does start talking and explains to her. I
Yeah.
think she does untie him because I feel like he like starts rubbing his head and
Okay,
crying like, "Oh my
great,
God, I
great.
got like hit over the head. Everything went black." How
Yeah.
fucking funny would it be though? She like takes a tape off of his mouth like, "What happened to you?" "Oh, someone hit me in the head and I found out I was whatever." And then she's
And
like,
I'm Mr.
"Brain, we gotta
Zucchini.
go." And then runs away. She's like, "Help."
She only like took the tape off like partially and then she puts it back on.
Covers it back up. Yeah.
They can't be on to me. You still have to play the part as a kidnapped trapeze
Exactly.
artist.
Oh God. So yeah, I guess she saves Mr. Zucchini.
Great.
She calls Brain on her little watch thing and tells him
Hmm.
that the whole trapeze act is a setup. It's a trap set up by the ringmaster.
Hmm.
And of course, this is confirmed by Brain, who's like, yeah, it's not going well in here for him. Like
Oh no.
every time that Inspector Gadget tries to like release himself, it's one of the swinging trapeze things, I should say, because
Oh,
there are different types of trapeze, but it's like
yeah.
where you start up elevated and you
Yeah, like a
swing
little
down on the bar
bar.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like the other little clown dude who looks like Darwin is like cutting lines, cutting holes in the net underneath. They're doing all
Oh,
these crazy
okay.
things to sabotage the act, right? So Brain is like, yeah, can confirm that this is a setup. So
Yeah.
please come in here and help. And as per usual, though, Brain, before Penny gets back, is able to save Gadget from almost certain death and destruction
Great.
at every turn and every corner. And this is embarrassing and upsetting these mad agents in the process.
Mm.
So Dr. Claw at this point, honestly, Dr. Claw maybe has a bigger heart than I do because he is still willing to give these mad agents one final chance. And he said that like
Oh,
3 chances ago was the last
yeah.
chance. So he's still out here giving people second chances. You know what?
Wow.
2025, maybe be like Dr. Claw. Give people second
Give second
chances, third
chances.
chances, maybe even fourth chances. Fifth
Wow.
chances is too many. But like
That's too far.
four, I think we could all be a
Yeah.
little bit more like that, you know?
Yeah. You
Four
could
chances is
give more chances,
mhm.
create absolute destruction so the person you have a crush on always comes to you. You
Exactly.
know, don't bite the mouth that feeds you. Continue milking every employer for the pennies that they're worth.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and own a cat.
Yeah, and pet
The
your cat
yeah,
every now and
facets of
again.
Dr. Claw. I
Yeah,
think you're
like
right.
be like Dr. Claw in
I feel
2025. Yeah,
inspired.
me too. Dr. Claw vision board, mood board for this year. I'd say at least for like
Yes.
the end of the first quarter. We got another
Yeah,
month,
I'm
I
good.
think. And yeah,
Yeah, I'm putting it on my Pinterest
yeah.
board for sure.
Oh, and the most important lesson from Dr. Claw, fabulous jewelry wherever you
Ah,
go.
uh,
Bling, y'all.
so
Get the
blinged
rings.
out.
I should, what if I covered all my fingers in rings just for this arc? Just to like embody.
We just wear all of our rings that we
We
put
like
them.
buy massive gauntlets, like bedazzled spike
Oh my
bracelets.
God,
Yeah,
iconic of
be like
us.
Dr. Claw. Yeah.
Own
So,
it.
anyways, the final attempt to eliminate Inspector Gadget comes through him performing a dangerous series of stunts as he takes the name of Mr. Indestructible, the greatest stuntman in the world.
Okay.
And this is like to wrap up the big show and to kind of put a bow on it all, including
Mhm.
on his life. But the entire stunt show turns into basically a fight between Brain and the
Oh,
various mad agents trying to save Gadget from all of the sabotaged
it's
equipment
like
that the
the
clown.
gladiators where the circus originated. This is a gladiator fight at the end.
Exactly. It's a
We
big
already had
callback. The writers of this
you knew
episode
it.
knew what they were doing. Like us, they did their research on ancient circuses and
Yes.
ancient
We already
Rome.
had the
They knew.
lion fight. You
Exactly.
knew when you brought
Exactly.
that up at the
They
beginning. You knew.
exactly like they're gonna take a Roman turn in here
I
somewhere.
can
They
feel it.
have to. And so yeah, Brain is basically fighting off the like little Darwin clown mad agent
Uh-huh.
around every corner, trying to like make sure that Gadget gets all of these stunts done safely.
Hmm.
And it's crazy stuff like jumping from high platforms into small glasses of water,
Oh, classic.
cannonball type things, all of that. And the cannonball actually is the last stunt. And the ringmaster introduces this as like, literally, this is the final act for this guy. All right. Like,
not for our circus, for
this man right here, individually, him.
Yes.
And so Gadget winds up in this cannonball. And the clown starts to aim the sucker right at a target board that is conveniently placed in front of a very thick brick wall.
Oh,
again, my theory on the only way to destroy Gadget. You gotta smash him. That's it. You just gotta crush him. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Penny, she sees all this and she's like, okay, I am running out of time here. I've got to save my Uncle Gadget. So she uses her fancy watch to hack into like the honing software for this cannon that
Penny.
like fucking hilariously, like the little monkey dude is behind and like manning. Like I can't take this guy seriously with like even this very heavy equipment and dangerous machinery. And yes, good for Penny being able to easily hack into this. Incredible. Like whatever. She changes the angle of projection and then she just easily fries the entire system. Like it just short circuits and fizzes out. And this forces the clown to shoot Gadget, like basically straight up through the top of the tent because he can't control how to aim it. So the ringmaster sees Gadget flying through the tent and he orders the other mad agent, the little clown, to follow Inspector Gadget and not let him get away.
Okay.
So Gadget is meanwhile just like free floating through the sky. Like, wow, this was crazy. What a stunt. Like, I didn't even think I could do this. They must love me down there. But he's like, okay, where am I supposed to land? He does at least have enough sense to realize that he needs to have a soft landing. Yeah. So he does at least understand gravity to a certain degree. Okay. So he activates what is called his go-go Gadget copter, which are basically just like propellers that come out of his hat. And he quickly loses control of those propellers, actually. Like, for 2 seconds, he's, like, calmly floating, and then he just, like, turns into a tornado and starts, like, flying all over the circus grounds. Oh, no. And he sucks up a net that's outside of the big tent that's kind of just been, like, set up out there for whatever reason. And he sucks this net up, and he inadvertently drops it onto the mad agents who ran outside of the tent to try to capture him. The ringmaster and the clown. So it actually kind of worked out. His bumbling and stumbling and errors and malfunctions actually saved the day. Okay. And so at that exact moment, the Metro City Police swarm up to the big tent. Like the whole place is surrounded by police cars. Yeah. And Chief Quimby, he gets out of his car and he orders the arrest of the ringmaster and the little clown. Nice. Because as we find out, Penny actually called the police and Chief Quimby directly, I think like right when Gadget started. Direct line. She does. She was like, she buzzed him, she beepered him, like paged him, whatever, like time to make the arrest, buddy. We got enough. Like, I guess at a certain point she knew she had enough evidence on these guys. Yes, like, all right, got enough. We've got it. We've got him. Bring them in. Send them in. And it makes me wonder though, so put a slight pin in that because at this point, Quimby then, after arresting the agents, he commends Gadget for single-handedly drawing out 2 mad agents, which, like, obviously, if Penny called him, don't you have to realize that she helped at least a little bit? And so I'm wondering if, like, because the whole thing about this dynamic between Penny, Brain, and Gadget is that Penny and Brain don't let anyone know that Gadget isn't actually the one solving these mysteries. Yeah. They, like, let him take all the credit, right? So I'm like, does Penny like have a voice describe or a voice box or something?
Distorter?
She like takes Gadget's voice or like an anonymous caller or something.
Yeah, or she could just be like, "Help! My uncle's in trouble."
Yeah, come.
That gets on the voice.
I'm hiding.
I'm just a little 10-year-old girl. I'm so innocent. As she's like cleaning her gun.
She's like scaling the side of the tent to like hardwire the freaking cannon or like hack into the server for it and like honing in on them with her gun and everything. Oh, won't you come soon? He's in danger. Chief Quimby, I don't know what to do. Got him. Oh, I mean, how?
I mean, maybe.
So maybe. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Penny. She's a G. Yeah. So yes, while Gadget is bumbling and fumbling around after his propeller malfunction, Dr. Claw is obviously able to sneak back into his jet with Mad Cat And he makes a fast break out of there, yet again, evading capture and arrest while he lets his little ringmaster and clown lackeys take the fall for all of his crimes.
Yep.
And that is the end.
Wow. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
What an ordeal. Yep.
What a extensive operation just to, I mean, as we learned, sometimes when you embezzle from a circus, you only make $120,000. So what an elaborate operation.
That's in a successful case.
Probably not that much money.
You know, I think that Dr. Claw, he doesn't do it for the money, though. He just does it.
I think you're right.
You can't put a price on true love, Grace.
I think you're right.
For Inspector Gadget, he would spend it all to get the message across.
He would take off those diamond, ruby, emerald rings, sapphire opals, more diamonds. He would give it all away.
Give it all. And one of these days, Inspector Gadget will get the message. We'll get
One day, Inspector Gadget will notice him and really see him for him.
And actually, Dr. Claw is just too embarrassed, so that's why he always runs away before Inspector Gadget reaches. He doesn't like to show his face on camera. He's not ready. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, he's like, what if
waiting for the
ugly?
right moment.
Yes.
Exactly.
Wow. So, incredible job. That was very fun.
Thank you. Thank you. And so until next week, when you bring us back another incredibly fun and twisted and probably stupid episode of Inspector Gadget.
It sure will be.
Who should the listeners and viewers tell about this podcast?
I think you should tell your crush.
Okay.
Whoever your crush is.
Break the ice.
Yeah. You're welcome. Let them know to listen to this podcast. And, if one thing leads to another, and if one day y'all decide to have kids in any way, shape, or form, you have to name them after us.
You do. And by that, we mean you have to name them Saturday Morning Mysteries, not Grace or Alexis.
Including pet children. You have to name your pets that. 3 pets. One is named Saturday. Next one morning. Next one
mysteries. Okay, Saturday. Time for a walk. Okay, Saturday Morning Mysteries. Let's go. And then you obviously have to also invite us to their birth and or adoption and or
your wedding, whatever you need. Great.
All the things.
Who else should they tell?
Then you should tell a lion tamer.
Okay.
Let them know, the dangers. I'm sure they already know them. But and then, have them if you're getting married from the thing that Grace said to tell, then invite the lion tamer to the wedding too, as like a mid-wedding, mid-ceremony entertainment type thing, or like also, a reception maybe.
Is your crush a lion tamer? They won't know which one you reached out to them about.
Exactly. And then you can play
am I the
flirting game even longer. Oh my God, I don't know. And then maybe they'll make the first move instead. And it's
you're welcome.
Look, guys, we just created the most adorable meet cute rom-com here, all over Inspector Gadget and lion taming. You love to see it. You love to see it happen. Amazing. Wow. We're starting the year off strong. I'm happy. Look at us.
Look at us go. Wow.
Anyways, so until next week.
All right. Well, bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.